everyone, this is Shannon from theirisscrapper.com, and today I have an Easter card for you guys using a few different products. I've actually embossed my sentiment here, which I know is probably hard to see. I actually used gold embossing powder on here, so for the video we're going to use white, so hopefully it'll stand out a little bit more. But such a cute design. So we're using a couple different stamp sets. We're getting our daisies from our Daisy Lane Cling stamp set, and then I'm using sentiments from the Welcome Easter set, which is one of my favorites. We are using our punches that coordinate, so we have our large and medium daisy here. I am using the lovely, let me grab it, stitched lace dies, so you get this big die as well as an edge here to give you this nice little rounded piece. We're using some beautiful Petal Pink Organdy ribbon. And then our Designer Series paper, this little burlap part, is coming from our Pressed Petals Designer Series paper, which is found in our annual catalog. So let's jump in and get going. So for our card base, I'm using Very Vanilla. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Petal Pink that is cut 4 by 5 1/4. I have that Pressed Petals Designer Series paper, this burlap piece. This is 3 3/4 by 5. And then I have already die cut the lace just because it takes a little bit of time. So let me give you a few tips. First, let me tell you the size here. I want to make sure I don't, so 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. Yes, 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. This is Very Vanilla. And then I just put my die right over it. Now the key to this is just running it through your die cutting machine numerous times. So I did it about 12 times, and then it's so easy to get the little pieces out with your die brush or your take your pick tool. You know, all of those little pieces will come right out. So we do still have to cut our edge to give us that decorative edge, but you know, that'll be a quick thing. Alright, so let's do our daisies. So I have a scrap piece of Very Vanilla here. I'm going to grab myself a scrap piece of paper. We are going to stamp our daisies in Petal Pink, and I'm going to stamp off first because I just don't want them too pink. So we're going to stamp off, give that a nice press, stamp off. Okay. Oops, now I got my ink pad caught. Get that? Okay. Alright, now we will use this again for our embossing, but let me set that aside. So let's go ahead and punch out our daisies. Okay. There we go. Alright, so we're done with those. Alright, we can set those aside. Now let's grab our die machine and let's cut our little edge. Okay. Alright, so let's see. These will line up right over this pattern piece, but of course I need to... Alright, there we go. Okay, so now we have our little decorative edge. Let's set that out of our way. Alright, now we can start to assemble. So let's grab our card base. Get myself a bone folder here. Alright, let's put down our layer of Petal Pink. Let's get our nice burlap. There is also a lovely wood piece in this designer series paper too, so if you're missing, we had some older designer series paper that retired that had all the different woods. There's also a wood one in this set, so just another thing to think about. If you're looking for that, you can find that. Alright, let's take our ribbon now, and I'm just going to kind of cut this. I'm just going to wrap this around. So I'm going to put myself a little adhesive back here, and that should help me hold that together. Now I'm going to get my liquid glue. I'm going to put some liquid glue here around. You kind of go around these flowers. There's some larger spots for glue. Alright, so let's grab that. I'm going to line this up, and this should go right along the bottom. And what I like to do is take, where did I put my daisy punch? Take my large daisy punch and just set that down. And then we can go ahead and work on this. So before I do that, with the glue and our daisies, I'm just going to kind of take my bone folder and have these kind of jump back. Okay, and then I'm going to attach them together. So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on my medium daisy. And then let's give that a moment to stick together. We're going to use our gold faceted dots. I'm going to take one of these large ones. I just thought this color went really well with that burlap. Put that one in the center. And then we're actually going to layer these up on dimensionals. So I want it to kind of stick up a little because of how we curved our daisies backwards. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on top of each other. And then we're going to set this down. So it's going to be raised. Okay. Alright, so now let's go ahead and do our embossing. So let me grab my scrap piece of paper again. Take my embossing buddy, and you could do this before you adhere your layers. That would be fine. I did not on my first one either, so I'm going to go ahead and go with it. We're going to grab our Versamark and our sentiment, our Happy Easter. Make sure that's nicely inked up. And then I want to stamp that down. Alright, I'm going to open up my white, let me close this up, my white emboss powder. And then I'm actually going to do this right over okay. And this will hopefully show up better for you guys. The gold embossing powder did work. You can see it much better in person, but it's definitely a subtle look where the white will definitely pop more on the burlap. So that's why I chose to switch that so you guys can see it really well. So let me grab my heat tool and let's go ahead and emboss. Ready. I love how that turned out. Yeah, the white looks great. Even though this is vanilla, it looks great. So then we're also going to stamp on the inside. So let me get, I know I had that out. Here it is. We got our Petal Pink. ink back in. And we're going to ink up our sentiment. And this is Have a Wonderful Easter from the Welcome Easter stamp set. So same one. And we're going to stamp that right in the center, just like that. And that completes our project. I love it. Love how it turned out. Really love this. I love this lace dye. I know it can be tedious for people that, you know, get nervous about all of that intricate dots, but like I said, if you follow that tip and just run it through numerous times, it's so much easier to deal with. So I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You can find a full supply list in the description. You can pick up all of the products used in today's video in my online store. And don't forget, Celebration ends March 31st. So with every order, qualifying order, $50 or more, you will get a free product. And so there are numerous products to choose from. If you do have any questions, or if you need a catalog, if you're new to Stampin' Up, I'd love to be your demonstrator, so do reach out. And I look forward to being back with you all real soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.